and we'll fly. Oh, we'll fly away, away, away. Yeah.
Hello, it's your boy Davidoff, and welcome back to Movie Monday, where the Godzilla marathon continues. We're coming towards the end of this, actually. I think there's the last Toho one. There's 4 more movies, just the 4. 2 of them came out in 2018, actually. 3 of them are animated as well. I just watched Shin Godzilla, the non-animated one. Before I get to that, though, I thought I'd watch some more movies. So on Tuesday, it's Wednesday now. So the day before, I watched through a Mothra trilogy. I got recommended Rebirth of Mothra. Obviously, she's in the 2019 movie, so I thought, why not watch those as well? And I watched that trilogy. I quite enjoyed it. King Ghidorah's actually in 2 of them, actually. King Ghidorah's in the first one and the third one. The first one was a different version, though, different colours, but still Ghidorah. So it was pretty cool to see Mothra fight Ghidorah on her own, no Godzilla either. So that was pretty interesting. That was pretty cool, and it was a nice trilogy. Anyway, on to Shin Godzilla. This was interesting. I didn't love it, but I liked it. It was interesting. Then no other monsters in this. No other monsters. It's just Godzilla. He arises on the shore. It's standalone. It's not a sequel to anything. It's like completely new. It's still Godzilla, a different design. It's still Godzilla, but completely new and standalone, which is cool because they've done a lot of sequels now to the original, and I thought it's nice to see something different now. But yeah, Godzilla comes to Japan, and humans work out how to destroy it. Basically, Prime Minister, the army, they're trying to destroy Godzilla. This whole movie, that's what it's about, really. Godzilla comes to destroy Japan, and humans want to destroy Godzilla. It's a pretty straightforward storyline, and it worked. It was really like this Godzilla. It like evolves. There's like 4 different forms, I think. The 4th and final form is so good. Like, he's massive. Like, I wonder how big he is compared to 2014, because he's pretty big in this. He is really damn big. So I was like, yeah. I mean, I've seen a photo of him before. I've seen a photo of Shin Godzilla before. I even saw the trailer, actually. Like, I watched the trailer to this movie back in 2015 when it came out. This came out in 2016, so at some point they released a trailer. Like, it was like a silent trailer. I watched it years ago, so I remember it from now. Like, just quite a big Godzilla. And when you see the movie, he's massive. You can see how massive he is. So yeah, I would love to see him standing next to 2014 Godzilla. I think that'd be a crazy comparison. But yeah, it's pretty crazy how this goes. It was pretty good. It was pretty fun. But when they first revealed the atomic breath, when he glows purple, basically they're trying to bomb him. The Japanese weapons don't work, so the US send in bombers, and they make Godzilla bleed with their bombs. They bomb him at the back, and he starts bleeding. A lot of blood comes down as well. So at this point, it doesn't kill him, but it pisses him off because he starts blowing purple. And then the purple atomic breath, oh my words, it was mad. It was crazy. It was scary how destructive it was and how fast it was. He just destroyed everything around him. Like, the whole city was just in flames. That atomic breath was deadly. It was purple, then it was orange. It was absolutely deadly. When his mouth opens up, it's game over. And then he starts shooting upwards, and he takes down the bombs as well. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy how that goes. I mentioned he has 4 forms in this. The first form was really weird. When I saw the first one, I was like, this isn't Godzilla. What is this thing? But then I realized, because I didn't know about the evolving thing. Then he started evolving and stuff, and I thought, oh, okay, I see. We're gonna get final form eventually. At one point, he was like a mini version of himself, which is pretty cool. And yeah, and then like in the final battle, which was in the daytime. The first was at night time. This was not dubbed, by the way. This was in subtitles. Pretty sure there's not a dubbed version of this because it was so recent. But yeah, in the final battle, atomic rays were coming out his back, out his fins, and also out his tail as well. I was like, have we ever seen that before? Maybe in a book, maybe in a Godzilla book or a comic or something, but I don't think I've seen that in a movie. Like, atomic breath coming out of his back and his tail. That is so scary. That is so scary. But yeah, they found out ways to destroy him, and they eventually freeze him, pretty much immobilize him, because he reaches a too low temperature. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Godzilla came to cause destruction, and they were trying to destroy him, and eventually they froze him. Not destroy him, but they froze him. yeah, I don't know if there's a sequel to this. I'm pretty sure it's just standalone. I have no idea, but it was pretty interesting. So yeah, on to the animated trilogy now. Just watched the first one, the first animated one, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. There's other monsters in this, but only for like a second, basically. There's like an intro for the credits, and they show basically kaiju have taken over Earth, pretty much. Lots of monsters. All the monsters have taken over Earth. Godzilla's the ruler, pretty much. And humans are not the dominant species anymore. So because it's too dangerous, because Godzilla and other monsters cause destruction and kill a lot of people, a group of humans escaped Earth and went to find another planet. And they found a planet eventually, but it was uninhabitable because a group of people went there and tried to go there anyway, and the ship got destroyed. But yeah, there was a guy there who was mainly focused around. He was really annoyed at Godzilla, really angry, really wanted revenge on Godzilla because of everything that happened. People that he lost, and because Earth is their home and they got driven away. But yeah, by this point, 20,000 years have passed. So I think in space there's a lot less time, but like 20,000 years has passed on Earth. So they go back to Earth because they're running out of supplies and stuff. They need to go back to Earth to find resources, etc. And yeah, eventually when they get to Earth, they find Godzilla. So yeah, the last half an hour was just them trying to take out Godzilla, which was cool. It was cool. Most of this film was alright. It was kind of meh. It was alright. The last half an hour, it was pretty interesting. It was pretty fun to see that battle, to see all these humans that have come back from space to battle Godzilla. They had weapons, they had good weapons, and eventually they do actually take down Godzilla. They take him out, they kill him, and then because there's a conversation they're having, like the guy is angry at Godzilla and another guy. They're talking about how this might not be the same Godzilla, might be a descendant. And as they're saying that, a brand new Godzilla wakes up. The ground starts to shake, and you see a much bigger, a huge, humongous Godzilla. And I'm pretty sure it's Godzilla Earth. And I was like, okay, the next one's gonna be interesting then, because you got Godzilla Earth in this. Like, I don't know much about Godzilla Earth, but I know it's a much bigger version. It's the biggest version of Godzilla and the strongest version. Don't know that much about his extra powers, but still, Godzilla Earth, I know it's a big deal in more ways than one, pun intended. So when I saw Godzilla Earth wake up, I was like, I like this ending. I like this ending. But yeah, the last half an hour was the best part, really. The rest of it, I mean, I get the storyline, but I kind of want to see Godzilla, to be honest. I was kind of waiting for him to turn up. But yeah, it was alright. It was alright, this movie. It was alright. The last half an hour was definitely worth it. But yeah, that after credit scene though, what on earth? Who was that girl? I have no idea. I'm gonna watch the next one right now actually, so let's do this. Actually, wait, before that, I forgot to say, there's other kaiju that play a role in this. Like there are others that turn up barely for like a second, but there are flying kaiju. When they first come back to Earth, there's servum. I'm pretty sure that means slave or something. I guess they're slave servants to Godzilla. So when humans first arrive on Earth, first come back to Earth, the servum attacked them, and then of course when they attack Godzilla in the air, servum attacked them as well, which they deal with pretty quickly. Servum they weren't that interesting or anything, but I just thought it's worth mentioning. They were pretty cool. They were pretty cool, but nothing amazing. Anyway, on to the next one. Actually, wait, one more thing. Let's go back to Shin Godzilla, right? In the movie, they were using trains to bomb him. So they were like pelting trains, because he was standing on a railway track. So they pelted trains full speed, like every train they had, just pelted it at Godzilla, and they exploded it on impact as well. I thought that was pretty clever. I was like, well, that is creative. I haven't seen that before. Just put like 10 trains into him. That was pretty cool. Alright, so I just watched Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. I forgot to mention, by the way, in the first movie, the one I watched before this, there was also an alien race helping out the humans. And the people that went off into space to escape Earth, it wasn't just humans, it was aliens too. Just thought I'd let you know. For some reason I forgot to say that. It was humans and aliens working together. And also, the aliens planet as well was destroyed too. So that's another thing. And I also forgot to mention that Mechagodzilla, there was a flashback Mechagodzilla in the first movie that was, I think he was being made, and then it exploded or something went wrong. And in this movie, they find Mechagodzilla City. So not Mechagodzilla, but Mechagodzilla City. I assume they tried to create Mechagodzilla there. I have no idea, but Mechagodzilla City. It's not an actual city, but it's a facility where Godzilla can be destroyed because of nanometal. There's a thing called nanometal in this that can be used to destroy Godzilla. Now the main character is called Haruo. I forgot that in the last movie for some reason. Last movie I watched it, I forgot his name. Remember it this time because it's mentioned enough times. But yeah, Haruo is the main guy. He has a vengeance mission, wants to kill Godzilla, and will stop at nothing to kill him. And so do other humans, other people as well. So he's not alone in this. But towards the end, he kind of has a change in heart. Not a change of heart, actually. Wait. What I mean is, there's two big guys, and they want to combine themselves with nanometal to like evolve and survive. Apparently that helps them survive. It makes them stronger a little bit. So that was really like, I was confused. I was like, that works? Obviously it's a fictional thing, but still, I was like, okay, this is strange. So they were combining themselves with nanometal to adapt, to evolve. And Haruo, along with other people, disagreed with this. They were like, no, this is not the right thing, pretty much. And also they create mecha, not monsters, but they create like a, it's called Vulture. It's called Vulture. There's aircraft vehicles that they use. It requires a pilot. And Haruo and Yuko's his love interest in this movie, and someone else. The other person is one of the people that wants to combine nanometal as well. So that's pretty interesting. And eventually Mechagodzilla City is covered by the clouds, but eventually they lose their cover, and then Godzilla sees where they are, comes towards them. His attacks are so powerful. Like, this Godzilla is OP. Like, even from a long distance, he can destroy targets just like this. Just in a few seconds, he's destroying everything. So it's pretty crazy. But using those 3 vultures that they have, the plan is they got a trap with nanometal and other stuff. So they want to lure him to the trap with the vultures, and they succeed. They take down Godzilla, which is pretty crazy. And then what happens is he pretty much depowers. He's still, completely still. And what happens is he heats up. He constantly keeps heating up, and the area around him is too hot to survive in, and pretty much anything around him will burn alive. So they have to get out of there. But the thing is, this will keep expanding. It won't be one area. It will expand to the entirety of planet Earth. It will destroy and burn everything. So that's pretty crazy. And this is the point where Haruo's like, well, what we're gonna do now? And one of the big guys, who is back at the base, controlling things, he's like, he wants the 3 pilots in the vultures to turn into, to combine with nanometal. They've set a trap basically for the pilots inside, and the nanometal is supposed to, like, from the feet and the arms, it's supposed to combine with them. And Yuko and Haruo disagree with this. They disagree because basically by combining they can destroy and kill Godzilla, pretty much. But Haruo doesn't want to do this because he doesn't think it's right, and Yuko didn't want it either. But Yuko was getting overwhelmed. She was screaming. It was quite emotional, this part, actually. She was screaming, she was getting overwhelmed, and it was gonna kill her at some point. And Haruo basically, I think someone else, what's the other guy's name? There's someone else looking out for them. There's someone else there in a cave somewhere looking out for them, and he basically tells them, you have to do this to save Yuko, to stop this combination, because somehow Haruo was not able to combine with nanometal. So he didn't want to do it anyway, but still, something, I think the guy looking out for him did something, but for some reason it couldn't combine with him. So he told him, through the radio, you have to do this, you have to destroy this facility, and you can stop this overheating thing. And, well, basically, either he kills Godzilla or planet Earth overheats. Actually, no, wait. If he kills Godzilla, then it still overheats. If you finish off Godzilla, he overheats. So you either want to destroy planet Earth by killing Godzilla, or not kill Godzilla and destroy the facility, saving a lot of lives. So he was having a lot of thoughts, having a lot of flashbacks to his granddad dying, who died in the first movie, which I forgot to mention again. Another thing I forgot to mention for some reason, I keep forgetting to mention things, but yeah, eventually he destroyed the facility. And yeah, unfortunately though, unfortunately Godzilla obviously woke up from this, and he's extremely powerful, so that's a danger. But Yuko died, so that was really emotional. That actually hit me a little bit. I was like, oh boy. Like, she didn't want to be combined with nanometal, and she was, and she died from it. And Hera at the end just screamed out in agony. That was a sad, sad ending. That was a sad, sad ending. And then you get the after credit scene. You get the after credit scene, and the guy who helped him out is an alien as well. Is an alien. He mentioned something during the movie. He whispered something to Haruo, and you don't hear it, but then you see this scene again in the after credits scene, and you actually hear it, and he says basically there's something that can face up to Godzilla. Pretty much, he says other things, but pretty much that's my understanding of it. And he says Ghidorah, so he teases Ghidorah there. I'm looking forward now to the final one. The final Toho movie includes Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and it should be a powerful one considering this is a powerful Godzilla. So yeah, I might actually watch it now. Actually, I might watch everything in one go. Let's do this. If you didn't know, every time I tell you about a movie, I go to editing first and put all the clips in, trim what I need to trim, and then go to the next movie. And watching this back, I just realized I've got to mention a big plot point. I mean, it doesn't matter towards the end. It's just the first act that it matters. Basically, there's an after credit scene in the previous movie that I mentioned. I was like, who is this? And it was Haruo was lying down. He was injured he wasn't injured, but he was being looked after from the battle from the first movie. And there's a girl helping him, and I was like, who is this? And it turns out it's a tribal girl from a human race that lives on Earth. So for 20,000 years, the human race has managed to survive. A small amount, but still managed to survive. So that was pretty interesting to see, like, a human race, a tribal race. They couldn't speak English. It's a different language, but they evolved a little bit. They were a bit quicker and stuff, so they adapted to the new surroundings. So that was pretty interesting as well, to see like a human race actually survived on Earth during that time of monsters ruling it. So that was pretty cool. I feel that was pretty cool. It kind of gave me vibes to the TV show The 100. That doesn't have Godzilla in it. It's nothing about monsters, but it's about pretty much there's nuclear war and the world gets destroyed, but a lot of humans survive in space, and eventually in future they come back down to Earth to see if they can survive there. And not only can they survive there, but they find other humans that survived there already from the nukes and stuff. So I kind of got vibes from that from this movie, just because like they come back from an apocalypse and they find out that humans were still here all along anyway. So yeah, that's why I found a similarity. I don't know if you watched that show, but still, that's why I just found similarities there. Anyway, let me just go watch the final movie. Okay, so Godzilla the Planet Eater. It was underwhelming, to be honest, and rather confusing. Yeah, that's what I got to say. That's my review of this movie. It was underwhelming and confusing. Half the time I was like, what's happening? Like, what's happening? So, first of all, Yuko is technically still alive, and she died at the end of the last movie, and I thought, oh, there's some hope. But it turns out she's brain dead, so nothing happens anyway. She doesn't come back to life, because even though her heart's still beating, the nano metal is keeping her alive, but she can't wake up because her brain doesn't function anymore. So, yeah, her living on just does nothing. So that's kind of depressing. And there's this, as I mentioned in the after credits scene of the first movie, first animated movie, there was a person to look after him. There was a girl to look after him. This girl, she had an identical twin as well. So yeah, and they're part of a tribe called the Hotra tribe. And I googled Hotra, and the first thing that suggested on Google was Hotra Mothra, and I was just like, have I just spoiled something for myself here? Because this was during the movie. I watched I was watching the movie. I looked it up and it said Hotra Mothra, and I was like, what? Why is Mothra mentioned here? Which is really strange. I didn't read anything, by the way. It just came up like as a suggestion, like Mothra next to Hotra. So this was, I guess, based on that. I thought, wait, is this the Mothra tribe? Is that what this is? And considering there's twins there, one of them looked after Haruo. She has a twin sister who's identical, and I'm thinking at this point, like, considering what Google spoiled for me, are they the Mothra twins? That's what I was thinking. And then you actually see Mothra as well at one point for like a second, for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, okay, well that's Mothra there, and just flying past. So that was pretty cool. That was in a vision sort of. So the guy that helped Haruo in the last movie, who helped him destroy the facility to stop this overheating thing. His name is Metuphies. I forgot how you pronounce it. Metuphies or something like that, right? He has this little sort of like religious / cult thing where they worship a god, and this god turns out to be King Ghidorah, which is interesting. I thought, okay, this is an interesting way to do an origin for this monster that is just like really strange. But at this point I was like, okay, let's see King Ghidorah then, because it was a very weird thing. Well, meanwhile, by the way, the ending of the last movie where Haruo decides to change his mind, the two big guys trying to do the nanometal thing, they were both aliens, I'm pretty sure. So up in space, they know about all this. The aliens think that Haruo was wrong to pull out of it to change his mind, and humans are defending him. So they have a little like battle, not a battle, but they have disagreement, and the aliens are like, well, yeah, he has to accept punishment, otherwise we will. Otherwise, well, wait, what were they thinking? What are they gonna say? I've forgotten now. But pretty much, if they didn't imprison him, they were gonna. The aliens were probably gonna kill him or something. I've forgotten now. I've actually forgotten what the aliens were gonna do. But yeah, there was that whole disagreement up in space. But in the end, it doesn't really matter, because this religious cult thing, it spreads on the space in the ship and on Earth as well. A lot of soldiers buy into it, and they basically have to like call for King Ghidorah. They have to like basically like call for him. There's this green gem thing that has to be activated, one by Metuphies and one by a guy on the space on the ship, and they eventually a bunch of people join this cult / religion, and they all call for Ghidorah, like I said. And Ghidorah arrives and destroys the space ship. So like a big hole opens up in space, and the spaceship destroys everyone. The aliens, the humans, even the worshippers, they're all dead. Then Ghidorah goes towards Earth. Now this is really weird, because it doesn't seem like Ghidorah. Like, you don't see like a dragon. I mean, you see 3 heads. You see it's Ghidorah. You see 3 heads. But these are like, they're an illusion in a way, because you can't detect Ghidorah at this point. The laws of physics in this universe doesn't apply to him because he's from another universe. So he's like an illusion. You can't detect him unless you look at him or hear him, which was a really weird way to put it. And there were like 3 holes in the sky, and each of his heads were coming out of those 3 holes, and they were just really long heads with long necks, no actual body. So that was even stranger. And Godzilla couldn't touch him either, because he couldn't. His hand would just go. His hands, sorry, not his hands, because it doesn't have hands. But Godzilla, every time he fires his atomic breath or tries to hit him, it just goes through Ghidorah, like he's like an illusion. But Ghidorah can touch him. Ghidorah can bite into him and weaken him. So that was just really weird. I gotta say, looking back on this animated trilogy, the monster action is rather underwhelming. I gotta say, I feel like for once, the human side of it is more interesting than the monster action. Even though I enjoyed the previous 2, by the way. I was fine with those. Like, I enjoyed watching humans trying to fight Godzilla, and a bigger version as well. But even in those movies, Godzilla didn't do like, I mean, he caused destruction and stuff with his atomic breath and other stuff, and he powered up as well. But when he was moving around, he didn't look that great, and he was kind of, I mean, I get why he was slow, but still, he kind of like when he was moving, you couldn't. There wasn't really much that was happening. He was just walking. He was just walking, and that's it. And it only got interesting when he got powered up, pretty much. So I feel like in over the three movies, the monster action was just underwhelming, like overall, and especially in this movie. It's the worst in this movie. I just don't know what to think sometimes. I liked the first two to an extent. This last one just kind of ruins it in a way. So yeah, I mean, I still love Godzilla. It's just that this movie was, I don't know, just underwhelming and just really confusing, because Ghidorah wasn't really Ghidorah. Apart from, like, you could see it's Ghidorah, but it's not Ghidorah. It just isn't. And this whole time as well, Godzilla is being controlled by Metuphius, the leader of the cult. And that confused me even more. He does it through his weird eye. So, and also Harrow is someone who he wanted to be a part of his religion as well. He wanted Harrow to be like the spearhead, to be like the prophet in a way. So that was even stranger as well. So Harrow goes up to a hill to try and stop Metuphius. Metuphius has also got one of the twins up there. It's not the one that's like, one of the twins is a love interest for him. I don't think it's that one. I think it's the other twin that gets into trouble, that gets caught by Metuphius. And yeah, she's still alive, like she survives this. But Metuphius and Harrow, they go into some vision sequence. Basically, Harrow looks into his eye and suddenly he's knocked out. And they're both having the same vision. They're having flashbacks. He's just telling him about certain things that happen and don't happen. And I'm just like, okay, this is... half the time I was like, wait, what's going on here? I'm so confused. By the way, this was in Japanese with subtitles, by the way. The first two movies were English dubbed, just so you know. Also the Toho tribe, the girl who helped Harrow, she can speak well, it's Japanese. I said English in the previous review that I just did, but it's in Japanese. Obviously, it was just English dubbed. But the point is, she can understand him now. She can speak better. So it's good that they can communicate. But what was I gonna say? They were, Metuphius and Harrow were having these visions together. Metuphius was trying to like tell him why this is right, because Metuphius wants Ghidorah to destroy Godzilla, which is what he's doing at the time, destroying Godzilla while being controlled by Metuphius. And after destroying Godzilla, he's meant to destroy all life on Earth, just destroy the planet, just like he destroyed the alien planet as well. And I was just like, well, okay, that's an interesting villainous plan. But still, yeah, they go through all these visions, and eventually Harrow breaks out of it and pretty much destroys the guy's eye. I'm pretty sure it gorges it out. And once the guy's eye is destroyed, Ghidorah becomes not an illusion anymore. I mean, he's not an illusion. I mean, he's there, but you can't touch him. But he can touch you. That's pretty. What's the word for that? I have no idea. But once Metuphius' eye is destroyed, suddenly Ghidorah is not like you can touch him now, and Godzilla can destroy him. So these three holes in the sky, which is what Ghidorah's heads come out of. So no body, there's three holes in the sky. Each of his heads come from there. So Godzilla just destroys all three of those holes, and that's how he defeats Ghidorah, pretty much. So yeah, that was very strange. When I was looking forward to this because Ghidorah was in it, and Godzilla was in it. I was expecting some epic fights, but this was just a weird looking Ghidorah. I don't know. I'm baffled. I need someone to explain that to me. And I also need explaining to the after credit scene. The after credit scene, the people still alive, the Toho tribe and the humans still alive, left on Earth. They were doing some ritual thing about giving up your fears, and I thought, wait, is that Mothra? Is that about Mothra, or is that something else? I have no idea. Is there a sequel to this coming? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's ending here, but the after credits scene confused me even more. By the way, I forgot to mention the ending actually. One of the vultures they managed to revive, and Haruo uses it to pretty much take on Godzilla. So basically, Metatheus tells him something like when they were going through those visions. Metatheus told him about sometimes you have to lose the battle or something along the lines of that. Haruo had a flashback to it, and then thought he thought he'd get Yuko. So Yuko, who is dead, well, she's dead, but she's not dead. She's still beating, but she won't wake up. So Haruo's taken her in the vulture and flown straight towards Godzilla, saying he was shouting as the last survivor to fight Godzilla, etc. And he just goes towards Godzilla, and Godzilla destroys him. He's dead, Yuko's gone now, and the ship hits Godzilla, and it lets out some massive wave of something, and then flowers start growing on the ground. So does that give life? I don't know. I'm so confused by that because that was basically the ending. Like Haruo took Yuko's half-dead body in a vulture and flew straight into Godzilla, while Godzilla killed them as well, and Godzilla got hit. And I don't know. I don't think Godzilla died in this, but it set off some wave that gave life and flowers. Am I stupid, or am I justified in this confusion? I have no idea. I'm gonna watch some videos explaining this. There's surely something, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that's confused. But anyway, yeah, I think I've spoken a lot about this one movie that I didn't even like. But there we go. I was kind of looking forward to animations, to be honest. Just because, like, with animations, you can do more with less money. You know what I mean? Like, in a live action movie, for like effects and CGI, it costs a lot of money. That's why in a lot of monster movies, they don't show the monsters until later on, because they got a limited budget. They can't just show a monster for like the whole time, because it's just going to cost them too much. But with animations, you can do a lot more. You can show a lot more for less of a budget. I noticed that in superhero movies, actually, like DC animated movies, they can show so much more than you can show in a live action movie without having to like exceed your budget. So I thought, animated Godzilla movie, surely that's a chance for like better Godzilla action in a way, you know, like, because you can show more, you can do more. You don't need stuntmen, you don't need this and that. You just have to. I mean, it's not easy to animate. It's obviously really hard, but you can do more is the point with good animators. So yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed by that as well, to be fair, because I was looking forward to these, but yeah, to be fair, I still like the first two. I was fine with the first two. This third one just, I don't know. It's not the worst one though. The worst one was that 1 hour long one. What was that called? No idea. Well, I can't remember. It was towards the end. I think it was the last. No, it wasn't. It was like the 10th or 11th movie. A movie about a kid having dreams about Godzilla's son. That one was the worst one, easily. But this one, yeah. Let's just stop talking about this one. Anyway, I finished this all in one go. It's 5 AM now on Thursday. I need to stop staying up so late. It's not because of this marathon, by the way. I just have a bad habit now. I sleep at like 5 or 6 AM, wake up at 2 or 3. What I need to do is get a job. That way I can fix my sleeping pattern, because I need the damn job. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Movie Monday is done. It is done very early, so I might start the next episode before this goes up, to be fair, because why not? Because I've got three American remakes of Toho movies: 1998, Godzilla, the Italian one. So what's that? That's 5 movies plus 2 King Kong movies. That's the plan for next episode, so I might get started on that early, to be fair. This was your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.